Hey guys, it's winter in northern Minnesota. Right now it's just light snow coming down. I just got done putting my my Christmas wreath up on the outside of my shop, which is an old barn. If you look right here, it's my own barn. And my mother made me a beautiful Christmas wreath. I don't know if you can see that from here. It's pretty dark outside, so you might not be able to see it. But that's the wreath. I'll have to show it to you tomorrow. But anyway, it's the day before Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving's tomorrow. And we're going to do a quick video on my solar generator that I made. And then also maybe how to program it properly. So that's something that I've been wanting to do for a while because it's hard to find anything on YouTube on how to program an MPP solar inverter. So I got a little book that I printed out, and I'll kind of walk through some of those steps. So anyway, stick around, and I'll show you how to do that and give you an overview of the solar generator that I created. All right, here we go. I thought today I'd just kind of give you one more overview because I've had some requests to kind of do one more overview of what I've done. And then we're going to go through a programming of this MPP solar inverter. So basically what I've done is I built myself a portable solar generator. And really the idea is that I wanted to have something that I could use out at my cabin and make it portable so I could take it there in the spring, leave it out there during the summer months, and then, come here, Nana, come over here, come here. Leave it there, come here, yeah, good girl, come here. You sit down by me, huh? You sit? All right. But anyway, I thought I would leave it out there during the summer months and be able to power my cabin with it because I have a Honda generator out there now, and the challenge is I got to keep the generator going 24 hours a day if I want to have power in the cabin. But the idea with this is that if I bring this out to the island, I can plug my cabin right into this 30 amp outlet right here, run the cabin, and then then I have power at least at night, and I don't have to run my generator 24 hours a day. And what I'm figuring is based on based on how much output this comes with an AC charge, I could probably bring in maybe 3 or 4 hours. I could charge this system up, and it'll last me a good 24 hours before I'd have to recharge it again. So I just put this back together. I'm going to let the dog outside. She's wants to go outside and play. So with that said, I'm going to kind of give you an overview of what I've done here. I have two 24 volt, 100 amp batteries. So I've got 2,400 watts of power in this one and roughly 2,400 watts in this one. So we're, roughly 5 kilowatts of energy, 4,800 watts of energy between these two batteries, okay? I purchased these from bigbattery.com. They're lithium-ion batteries. And coming off this battery here, I have two Anderson connectors that come up. And I just connected them here with this little 1/2-inch holder here, just kind of hold the wires up out of the way. Wraps around and goes out into this Anderson connector. And then from here, I connect to another Anderson and wrap it around, and this is my DC in on the inverter. Coming off of the inverter, I'm bringing out AC power, 120 volts coming off this thing into this square D box. I put a 20 amp circuit breaker here. Right now I have it in the off position. And then from here I come over into this GFI outlet, 20 amp outlet. I have another 20 amp outlet right above it that's non-GFI, and then I'm going into a switch that allows me to turn on my spotlight, Now this is an LED spotlight, but it brightens up the whole area. And really the main purpose of this is that if I ever wanted to wheel this system down to my dock, because my cabin's out on an island, And sometimes I might have to do some maintenance down at the dock, or if I want to charge a battery or do some repairs, and if it's at night, I can run this thing down to the dock because it's on a cart. I run it down to the dock, then I can go ahead and do some work and have plenty of light to work with. Okay. I also came out of the bottom of this this square D 20 amp breaker panel, and I'm coming around and I'm coming into this 30 amp outlet. Okay. And my generator has the same style of 30 amp outlet on it. So I've in my cabin plug, the power that goes through conduit to the cabin is a 30 amp plug. So I just go ahead and put the male adapter into this female adapter, and now I've got power on the cabin right through the inverter. I did order a couple Renogy solar panels, and I'm guessing those will be here this next week. And then my goal there is to set those up. I haven't decided yet either parallel or series, but I'll kind of determine what I want to do there. But I'll bring that in, and I'll maybe do another video on this MPP solar inverter with solar power coming in. So I should have roughly about 600 watts of energy coming off those 300 watt solar panels. So I'll put those up, at the cabin as well. Now it's winter time here, so I built this now with the idea is that I'll bring it out there in the spring and use it. But I can use it around here for other projects. Okay. So to kind of show you how I power this thing up, I make sure my circuit breaker's off here. I'll come over here and throw on both my battery master switches. And both batteries right now are sitting at a 29.1 volts. So they're equal. Okay. And then I'll come up here to the inverter and I'll turn on the inverter right here on the side. And the inverter is now powered up, but it takes a little bit. It takes a few minutes, but a few seconds, maybe 10, 20 seconds for it to kick in and recognize the DC input. And it should say right here in just a second how many volts I'm indicating. All right, so there we go. It just kicked in 120 volts. So I have 120 volts now coming out of this inverter to my square D box, and I'm going to go ahead and throw on my 20 amp breaker. Okay. I now have power across here. Now on this side here, I put this GFI in here just for some protection. And if I plug in, I got this fan here. Let's just plug this in real quick and show you that I got power. Make sure it's on. I don't know if it's on or not, but we'll find out. I'll just plug into one of these outlets. So there we go. We got power coming in, and I'm burning. Well, I don't even know what I have for volts. Or I'm sorry, for what I have for watts coming off. But let's just take a look. So my load right now with that fan on is a whole 68 watts. So this fan could run for a long time on this thing before it wears it out. So yeah, a whole 68 watts on that box fan right there. The other cool thing is I put in, I come off here and I've got this spotlight. I'm going to go ahead and turn that on for you so you can see. But as you can see, it is bright, and this thing will light up a whole front yard if you need to. Okay. So that's kind of it in a nutshell of what I got going on. But now what I want to do is I want to make sure I got things programmed right. So if you want to follow along, I'm going to go through the programming process of this inverter. And what I did is I went to the MPP Solar website and I printed out the user manual for this inverter. And when they send you the inverter, they also send you a CD where you can connect to this inverter with your laptop and plug right into it. But I felt it was easier just to kind of go down the list because you can get into a menu setting and you can program this inverter straight out of this manual here, and that seemed to be the easiest for me. So I'll bring you in closer here and we'll just kind of talk about how I went about programming this thing. So I'm just going to kind of turn you here the settings are, 00 is the exit setting. I'm going to go ahead and hold this down for 3 seconds, and it's going to go into a menu mode. So right now I'm in the escape mode. So if I want to get out of here, I can just, escape out. I'm going to go down with it. Let me see, I'll go up actually. Nope, wrong direction. I'm going to go the other way. Number 2, it says maximum charging current. To configure the total charger for solo and utility, max charging current equals utility charging current plus solar charging current. Right now I've got it set at the default, which is 60 amps for charging. Okay. So that's how you do that. You can just scroll through. Okay, number 3, AC input voltage. Right now I have it set for appliance. Okay. If selected, acceptable AC input voltage range will be within 90 to 280 volts AC. So that would be correct. I'm going to go on to the next one. Number 4 is power saving mode. Right now I have that disabled. Number 5, it says battery type. So your choices are AGM, flooded, or user defined. Right now I've got it in user defined. What that means though is that my battery charge voltage and low DC cutoff voltage can be set in program 26, 27, and 29. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to scroll down. Let me get back in there. So we'll go back to number 6, okay? Or number 5, I'm in the user defined mode. Number 6 says automatically restart when overload occurs. I have that disabled. Number 7, automatically restart when over temperature occurs. Restart disabled. Number 8, output voltage. We have that at default, which is 120 volts. Okay. Let me see here. Number 9, output frequency is set for 60 hertz. Number 11, so you maximum utility charging current. So that's bringing it in through like this extension cord where I plug it into either the generator or the AC outlet. Right now I've got that set at 50 amps. I'm just going to leave it there for now. Okay, so number 12 is set at 23 volts. Setting voltage point back to utility source. I just left it at the default. Okay. Number 13, and that's 23 volts for that utility source. Number 13 is setting voltage point back to battery mode when selecting SBU priority or solar first in program. So right now I've got it set for it's set for 27 volts. I might adjust that again. Let's go on again. Let's go on down here. All right, so number 13, we have default setting, which is setting voltage point back to battery mode when selecting SBU priority or solar first in program 1. Okay. Number 16 is charger source priority to configure the priority of the charger source. So I chose utility. So the utility will charge battery as first priority. Solar energy will charge battery only when utility power is not available. So I think that's a good choice because I don't always have it plugged in, right? Number 18, alarm control. I turned it off. Number 19, automatically return to default display screen. So I have that in the stay at last screen. Okay. Number 20 is backlight control. Right now I have the backlight on. You can see it's green. Okay. 22, it skips 21, goes right to 22. Beeps while primary source is interrupted. I have it set for alarm off. Number 23, overload bypass. When enabled, the unit will transfer to line mode if overload occurs in battery mode. Okay, I have bypass disabled. Record fault code, I have that disabled as well. 26 talks about bulk charging voltage. If self-defined is selected in program 5, which it is, this program can be set up. Setting range is from 24 to 29.2. Increment of each click is 0.1. So my bulk charging is going to be 29.2. So that's what I have it set to. Okay. 27 is floating charging voltage. Okay. I have that set for 29.2 as well. If self-defined is selected a program 5, the program can be set up. Setting ranges from 24 to 29.2 volts. Increments of each click is 0.1. So right now I have it set at 29.2. All right. Let me get back on the right screen here. Floating charging voltage, that is set. Okay, then we jump to 28, which doesn't count for me because I don't have dual systems. Number 29, low DC cutoff. I have that set at 23.5 volts. You know, this thing has a built-in BMS, and I didn't want to trigger that, so I just set it for 23.5 volts, probably a little higher than I need to be. And then let's see what number. Whoop, let me get back in there again. Go back to, so 29, 30, and 31 is solar power balance. When enabled, solar input power will be automatically adjusted according to the connected load power. I have solar power balance enable, which is 31 SVE. It says if selected, the solar input power will be automatically adjusted according to the formula. Max input solar power equals max battery charging power plus connected load power. So that's how I have it set up right now. So anyway, that is kind of a quick view of how you program the MPP solar. And everything is pretty much done. So now I'll show you a couple other things on here. All right, so let's talk about a few more settings on this MPP inverter. So right now you can see my batteries, they're about 28.9 volts. That's roughly about what I'm showing on the thing there, 20.9 to 29. And if you scroll up or down, okay, I can change. So right now my load is 0 watts. If I turn on the light, okay, you can see I'll jump to 16, 14, so it's right around 12, 13, 11, yeah, somewhere around 11 to 12 watts, right? If I hit the button again, it shows voltage amp, okay, VA, and then I got it loaded as percent. So if I turn the light on, obviously it's negligible with this LED. So there's hardly any load. It doesn't even register a load. It's so light, okay? Let me plug this fan in and see if I even register a load on this thing. So I'm going to plug that in real quick. Okay. So yeah, with the fan going, I have a 2% load. So minimal. Okay. Hardly anything going on. So let's take a next. So right now my output is 60 hertz. Okay. And my output's 120 volts. So yeah, so that's where I'm at with this thing. So I think that's pretty good. If I hit it again, now it moves over to the input side. So right now my PV, which is the solar, I have no solar power hooked up. Okay, but once I hook up solar power, you'll see this number. If I have some sunlight, you should see this number indicate wattage input. Okay. My battery, it'll also show the amps, okay, and my input voltage for PV. So that's my two options there. My hertz, AC hertz, and volts. Okay. So let's plug some power into this thing and see what happens. So on the back side here, you can see I have here's where my cart is, right here. So that's my cart, my AC input. So we're going to see what we get with this thing plugged into an outlet. Okay. All right, so I'm plugging in to an outlet. So I just plugged it in, and you can see I'm in a bypass mode. So because I've got power coming in. So basically, I'm charging my batteries right now, which is really cool with this inverter. So I'm charging the batteries, plus I'm bypassing and using also AC power to power my fan, which is pretty slick. Okay, so let's see what we got here. So we're going to go back over to the other side here. So PV input's still the same. AC input, right now I'm charging at 5 amps because I'm pretty full, so about 5 to 6 amps for an AC input. So that's pretty cool. So it's charging. Right now 7 amps coming in. PV input 0, which it should be. My AC input is 59.9 hertz, so basically 60 hertz, which is roughly what I got coming out of this inverter. What's coming out of the wall right now is 60 hertz, so roughly. So that's pretty cool. Okay. And I got 120 volts coming off the wall as well. So yeah, this thing is slick. I just love this inverter. My load's about 70 watts with the fan on, so that's pretty slick. So I'm charging and I'm running the fan. If I turn this on, it bumps a little bit. And I'm still only at at 85, 80, roughly 80 watts with the fan and the LED light on. So it's not burning. It's not burning that much. So pretty low numbers. Okay, let's go. Okay, 71 VA. I'm at a 2% load, so really nothing. And my output's 60 hertz, 120 volts. So there you go, folks. That's kind of how you program this thing. I mean, it's really simple. I'm going to back you out a little bit here. And talk a little bit more about this inverter. So, this inverter, for what I paid for it, I mean, I recommend that you go to MPP Solar, or you go to MPP Solar USA. So if you just Google that, you'll get to their website. There's a lot of replicas out there, I guess, that come out of China. So you want to make sure you get one that's made by actually MPP Solar. Okay. So make sure you're getting the right unit, and I think you'll have good luck with it. But I think with shipping and everything, I think I was right around $600 and some for it. A little over $600 for this unit. It's not that expensive. The batteries were the expensive part. I think between the two batteries, I think I gave with a coupon, I think I might have been in that $1,600 range for the two, to get roughly 5,000 watts of power off that thing, or 5K. So I think it's not inexpensive, but if you think about what it costs to go out and buy even a standard, in order to get a 3,000 watt inverter with 5,000 watts of power, battery power, I mean, you're going to pay $5-6 grand. So, and this other stuff is just, it's inexpensive. $8 for a circuit breaker. The Anderson connectors weren't that inexpensive, but they weren't that expensive either. Outlets are pretty cheap. You can buy those at your local hardware store, and most people probably have them in their garage. So that's how I did it. I got some number 12 line here that connects everything together. So, 20 amp line. And I had some extra stuff in the garage that I used. So overall, I'm pretty pleased with it. And if you got any more questions, feel free to drop me a line. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm kind of new at this whole solar thing, but I want to do more of this kind of stuff, just so that people understand how to do some of this stuff just in their own backyard, in their own home. Again, my main purpose of this is because I'm off grid and I'm out on an island, and I hate hauling gas back and forth all the time. So the less gas I can burn, the happier I am. So a lot of this, yes, it's expensive, but it's a convenience factor as well. So if I'm, if I got to haul gas back and forth all the time, or spend extra money, and maybe get a payback long term, I'm more willing to do that because it's less work for me to have to haul gas to run a generator all the time. So, and plus at night, there's nothing better than having a peace and quiet, so you're not listening to a generator after dark. You got some solar power that you've been using, charging all day, and now you've got something to use at night. And if somebody want to watch the TV, or if they want to play a game of cards, you got LED lights, and you can power up the cabin, and everything's like normal. So that's it in a nutshell. I hope you enjoyed the video, and again, please subscribe to Bear Island Landing. And between doing some solar off-grid stuff at the cabin and these kind of projects and doing some fishing, I hope you enjoy our videos. Other than that, we'll talk to you soon. Thanks for watching. See ya.